With God, there is always more. More love, more life, more freedom. Welcome to Zoweh's Exploring More with Michael Thompson. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Our Heavenly Father has provided many delightful inns for us along our journey, but He takes great care to see that we do not mistake any of them for home." Join me and the team as we explore the kingdom together, discovering the deep truths and offering encouragement for the journey. There is always more.
Welcome, friends and allies, to the Exploring More podcast. Michael Thompson here, hanging out with S.J. Jennings and a surprise guest here.
We'll have a surprise guy here in a minute.
Surprise guy. That's a good word for it. So, we're taking a quick few minutes to really devote a podcast session to some important things that are coming up. I like what you said earlier that March Madness is coming. And we kind of have our own March Madness.
We do.
A lot of things dropping. A lot of things at Zoweh on Tuesdays. We have this thing called ATC, which stands for Air Traffic Control. And for us, it's a time as a team. There's 11 of us that just come together. What's in the air, what's landing, what's taking off.
It's kind of the check-in in the tower at the airport, right?
And trying to keep things from colliding in the air or on the ground, on the runway. So all of that to say, this was just this just felt like an opportune time to cover a bunch of things, and particularly, I think the fleet of planes and pilots.
Yeah,
these aren't commercial airline things. This is more on I think of almost like on a carrier. I mean, what's coming in, what's going out, what helicopters, who's taking off, all of that stuff. And
some of them are surveillance, some of them are attack. Some of them
patrols.
Are patrols.
Right,
exactly.
All of that stuff from
all
the day-to-day stuff here at Zoweh. So,
well, I think the first thing we want to introduce, Michael, is starting next week on the Explore More podcast, we're going to do a series on King Me.
Yeah.
And just for clarification, we're not just going to have Michael read the book to you, right?
That's good news.
But we are going to share, talk just really briefly. You've got them in front of you here. There's 4 parts of the book, right?
Yep.
So we're going to do who knows how many episodes based on those 4 parts. And that starts next week.
We're going to try to do 4 parts. But, we'll see
how we go.
How it gets tangled up. But
yeah.
And I, the hope of that is to, publish something that is intriguing and inviting, maybe provoking. But the whole, for those of you who haven't heard, this is my 3rd book. I often say this because I think it's true. We wrote a book because it's a team sport. It's a team effort. And I get the pen and I get the Word documents and I get to kind of be the scribe. But stories in this book, very much about my life, but about my life with my friends and the journey we're on together. And so, there's more to come on King Me, but very excited for its published date, March 15th.
Yep.
For, it feels almost like, too, with... the guys who make the rounds and men and women, the actors and actresses who make the rounds, and you're promoting a film, but you finish shooting the thing, you finish filming months ago. Well, for us, we finished the writing, formal writing process several weeks ago, but then there's these, steps of, formatting and final edits and proofreadings and another one and another one.
Mm-hmm.
So, you write a book about 7 times, SJ, 6 for me, 7 times. And then you edit a book another 4 times, so there's I'm quite acquainted with this. So I'm looking forward to our podcasting on that.
Yeah.
But what I'm really excited about is it finally, we've had the manuscripts out to friends.
Mm-hmm.
We've had
I got an advanced reader copy here.
Advanced reader copies that we've sent out in the promotional and marketing spaces, and so it just feels great to be at this space.
No doubt, man, and we're excited, about it.
Yeah,
we do feel, because of the way that you roll, we do feel like, we had a huge part in it. And honestly, we give you a lot of material, too, for some of the crazy stories that you share. Yep. So March 15th, so the podcast series starts next week.
Right.
But March 15th is our release date. And so you're going to want to go to Amazon. We're launching it through Amazon.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do on Amazon is we're trying to hit a certain number in their algorithm, or I don't even know how all that stuff works. But what we're trying to do is go through that one source so that we get boosted up and more people can find the book, right? Some people, it'll show up and you know how it goes on Amazon, like at the bottom. People who you might also be interested in.
People who bought this also
bought
this or like this. So,
so we're trying to hit that wave in Amazon.
Exactly. When the light turns green, we're kind of moving with great intention. Our friends, our allies, our alumni, all of those, we're asking to go to Amazon, because every one of those purchases through Amazon makes a little noise.
Yeah.
And, if you...
Especially if you leave a review.
Yeah, which takes a little time with a book. But if you start making some noise on Amazon, Amazon gets excited. Mm-hmm. And because Amazon's the manufacturer, or one of our manufacturers, then how it works is they notice, hey, something's happening over here. Of all the things Amazon's doing, they have that stuff moving in the underbelly.
It's a little scary though, how much they know.
So we'll because our phones are in the room, we're going to get some ads about King Me because we're talking about it. But that's the whole point: is what if you could be a part of helping make some noise? Amazon will profile men in their algorithms, in their purchase history, and all that, and literally Amazon could put this in front of people as an ad. Like, we'd have nothing to do with that.
Yep.
It's Amazon saying, hey, something's going on. This is worth promoting.
That's right.
And they'll put it, I'm sure if you're an Amazon Prime person, you've seen those in your email inbox. They are suggesting that you may want this. You may want to look at this. And so that's kind of the it doesn't feel like a half-court shot, but it is a deep three-pointer.
Yeah, it is.
To see that happen. It
is. So, shout out to Josh Overton on our team, who's done a lot of research and trying to figure all that out for us in the marketing space. So we're excited about that. So I was thinking about this the other day as we invite Greg to kind of slide over here. Come on in here, Greg. Greg's our Allies Director and all the other things he does here at Zoweh. What's up, buddy?
Good to be with you, man.
Yeah, man. So, I was talking about it with the team at the ATC this morning about it feels like we're a band that's getting ready to drop another album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, if you're our vintage, you remember going to concerts. I don't know if they even still do this anymore, but where you get a T-shirt with the tour dates on the back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we came up with this concept of a King Me book tour a few months ago, and we've already got most of the dates booked for that. Yeah. But that's what it feels like. Like the album drops on the 15th, King Me drops on the 15th, and then the book tour starts. Yeah. So talk a little bit about that, man, and the genesis of that, and how does it tie in with Allies?
Yeah, thanks so much, Scott. I mean, these last several years we've been doing something called the Zoweh Allies Gatherings, where we've had groups around the nation that have wanted to bring the message of the heart to their areas, and be able to, bring guys together so they can do life together. Yeah. And so we've really been blessed to have literally hundreds and hundreds of allies around the country to do that. And as they've been impacted by exploring more and the other resources that we have at Zoweh, they're getting really excited about King Me.
Yeah, and they're tired of doing Heart of Warriors.
Oh man,
but
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That book's still being found by people.
It's fun. It's so fun.
It is such an honor to hear the different iterations of people that are going through Heart of a Warrior, and they're like, "Hey, I know this book. You got to read." And I feel that they're going to feel the same way about King Me, and they're real excited about bringing it to the men in their lives, whether it's a church or a nonprofit or individuals. And that's how we look at our allies, men, is we think about these guys not just as church people, but also as folks that maybe have a business or, they have a nonprofit like Zoweh, or there's just a guy on the street that really wants to create a space for the hearts of men, maybe around their fire pit, or maybe they go to Panera together or whatever, but they're really doing life together.
Place, right.
And we truly believe, and we say this all the time with Zoweh Allies, is as much as we love our resources, it really is not about the book. The book is a means to an end for the relationships with God and the relationships with each other. Mm-hmm. So the book tour really is a great way for Michael and I and SJ and some of our team to go around the country and take this message of leading well, loving well in a wounded world, and what it means to be a king. Last night, my small group, Michael, we were starting out with King Me last night. Shout out to the Fire Pit Rangers that might be watching. But yeah, we were looking through that, and I've got the book here with me, and I wanted to just read this real quickly, which is, so at the end of the first part where you're kind of introducing the book a little bit, and you're like, this is what the first part's about. So it says, the $1 million question is, if we were created for intimacy with Christ and to reign and rule with him now, here, and forever as his co-heirs, then why aren't we doing what we were made for? Mm-hmm. That really impacted my guys. And it says for 2 reasons. We don't know who we are, and we don't know why we're here. Mm-hmm. And we camped on that last night, And, of course, the good thing about the Heart of a Warrior is, we talk about that. We talk about that.
Yeah, it starts that conversation.
Yeah, in our 4 pillars at Zoweh. And I think what's going to happen in this King Me book tour, it's going to start a lot of conversations. Mm-hmm. And in our allies arm of what we do at Zoweh, we get to coach and consult and help you guys create those spaces, for the hearts of men wherever you are. Mm-hmm. And what we love to do is, rather than say, here's the Zoweh way, we have 2 main things that we love to talk about. One is loving God and loving others. And then how can we discover together with the leadership of the Holy Spirit what that looks like, as Al Roker would say, in your neck of the woods, because it's always just a little bit different. Yeah. But we believe those 2 key components are super important, and we really believe this King Me book tour and King Me in general is going to help us to do that well.
Yeah. So what's the website people should go to for info about the book tour? We'll put it down in the description, but what is that?
Sure, it's super simple. It's zoweh.org/book tour.
Okay, and there's just a few dates left, right, that are open if you wanted us to come to, a church or an organization or something?
Yep, and we have some hopes that there's a few hundred guys there that, we're not really charging for the book tour, but we are hopeful that you'll sell some books and help us to get there financially, of course. Mm-hmm. But I think the book tour dates that we have left are in the fall. We have maybe one in October, one the 1st of December. But again, if you go to book tour, zoweh.org/book tour, then you can learn all about it.
Cool.
Yeah. One more thing about the book tour, as we've talked a lot about it. I mean, we're trying to be strategic in many, many ways. And I think about the Heart of Warrior Encounter events in May and October, helping allies that are already kind of begun, if not established, the digging of their foxholes or the creating of their outpost or safe houses, we call them, for guys to be at. So the book tour, it has multiple elements to it. A night where for a couple hours men can assemble. We're hopeful that it'll be a place that will advance the movement of initiated and trained, healed, validated men. It'll kind of advance that, or in a couple cases, it's establishing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what we care a ton about, SJ, is what happens after.
No doubt.
The book tour. It's great to maybe have a couple hundred books sold, or guys buy cases and start. But what happens after is very important, to us, and so. We're going to Wisconsin. We have the one in Raleigh-Durham where we're located, April 1st. I mean, we're trying not to lose ourselves in book tour opportunities, but now that this is moving and available, you're doing a great job of hosting it or finding our hosts and making those alliances either advancing or establishing. And so, the bigger,
I think about the big one. There's a big one in Atlanta, hopefully, too. Atlanta's a huge...
Closer to the late summer
area,
because we'll be there with an encounter weekend in October. So, this is just us taking our part, taking our place, playing our part, taking our place in the battle for the heart, particularly within the masculine conversation, the masculine heart, the masculine image bearer. And there's allies all over the place. There are many places that are, King Me's a part of something, but it's our part. It's a weapon. It's a tool. It's a resource. It's an encouragement. It's bandages. It's so many different things.
Exploratory surgery.
All of that. So I think, and this is the place where, like you said, I love the example. This is the place where the album gets to be played live, and you meet the people that are either hungry and thirsty, or that already love it and want more.
Yeah, I love track 6 or whatever. Yeah,
and they sing along, right?
So that's right.
Hopefully we can provoke and encourage and love on a lot of men through these book tour dates, which maybe 8, 9 now. How many?
More like 18.
Oh, crud. 18. I just found that out. Yeah.
So following up, as we land the plane on this kind of special episode of Exploring More to talk about March Madness, right?
Our March Madness,
the Women's Initiative
is in March too.
Yeah, directed by Sherry and Robin. Our brides, and the deepening weekend is March 23rd through the 26th. And at the end of the episode here, we're going to play a little bit of an invitation from them. So stay tuned for that. But what's after that? I mean, so end of March is the deepening weekend. Then we've got April with some of these book tour events. But then the first weekend in May is our next big encounter weekend at Rockbridge, right?
Yep, back up in our eastern part of the States, and guys coming from all over the country for that. And we love to create these spaces for men to get away with God. Our Get Away with God series, some of the things that we actually talk about in there, we practice there. And men get to experience God, not just be told about Him. And both are good things. But so that's the big May event. And, from there, a couple more. Yeah,
I just got a comment too because Greg's here with us. One of the things we've seen, and a lot of our listeners too have done this, is they take the Heart of a Warrior book and go through it with a group of guys, and then they come to the weekend together, right, Greg? So, I mean, if you've got questions about starting a group, leading a group, bringing a group of guys to the weekend, it's Greg at Zoweh.org is the guy you want to talk to because he's our Allies Director. So join in on that initiative for sure because
I'd be honored to talk to you.
Man, it's so fun, when we're walking around at the weekend going from here to there, right? We all have our roles and responsibilities at the encounter weekend. But to see groups of guys that you've invited, they're around a fire pit or they're going deeper together on this journey. It's really inspiring. So if you have a group you want to bring, talk to Greg.
And before you cue the deepening weekend and the ladies and all that they're doing to construct a similar environment, a safe place. I just want to encourage all the men that are listening to this. This may be worth that pause, or you can watch what we're about to show them, and just like on YouTube, you can send anything forward. You can pass that forward
at a certain timestamp.
So I just want to say, this may really be an encouraging thing, to forward to your wife or daughter or your mother and just say, hey, these are the guys these are the knuckleheads that I listen to from time to time. These are the yahoos that
regular guys just like us,
walking with God and talking about it, exploring the kingdom together. And so these are the guys I was talking about. They've got this thing for women. What do you think? Not you should go. I did that to my wife, as you've heard on this podcast a couple decades ago. But what do you think? And so
how can I make that happen for you?
So I just want to give I'll be there. I'll be one of the few men that get to be there. I've been before many times, and I never get tired of our weekends. The men or the women or the Rendezvous Project, but it's just a beautiful thing to see women encounter and experience the love of God in transforming ways. And so I just want to say, men, this is a good, join the marketing team if you can. So
last thing I think I want to mention, I really think God just dropped this on my heart to share. This doesn't happen without financial support. We create resources, we have weekends, we try to keep the prices at a reasonable place for people to get these resources in their hands. So we don't fund what we do here through the sale of resources. Although it helps to buoy it, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
The way that the Zoweh keeps the battleship moving through the water, or however you pick your metaphor, right? The way that keeps moving is through financial support from many of the people that are watching this right now.
Yeah, right. We're so thankful.
So we're in a place right now where we've got a generous offer about a matching funds grant.
Yep.
And if you want details about that, I would say, again, one of the other hats that Greg wears is he's our development director. He's our leader in that area. And so if you've got questions about the match, if Zoweh has impacted your life and made a difference for you, I would ask you to consider joining our financial support team and keeping the battleship moving through the water.
Yeah. Zoweh.org/match. Every gift, $500 or more, gets matched dollar for dollar until March the 15th. We'd love to talk to you about that.
Yeah. So think about that, pray about that, or as I heard one pastor say one time, prink about it, pray and think. Right? So
nice.
Anything to add to that, buddy?
No. Thankful for you guys out there helping make Exploring More known. It's really fun since we've been on the YouTube format, and how Caleb and Josh have seen the numbers rise. And what's that line? Rising tide lifts all boats. And so that's one of our strategies. So anyway,
that's a great one. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. If you haven't shared this podcast with any of your friends, or maybe a men's group you're a part of, we're at about 700 subscribers right now. And when we hit 1,000, on YouTube, we're in the hundreds of thousands of downloads on podcast platforms. But if you'd share this episode, other episodes, your favorite episode with others, if we break 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we get to monetize, which is another way that we can be, help keeping the battleship with ammunition and bandages and all those things.
And if you like minor league teams, then I have a show called Recalibrate, and don't quite get here on Exploring More that often, but you guys can come check us out. Josh and I have a good time.
That's right.
It's a great place. That's where all the allies. That's where all the allies hang out. And we created it for that. And I think it's. No, it's not a. It's not a minor league team. It's a.
Michael came down to the minor leagues last month.
That's right. It's a part of the ship that we're proud of, and that's important, and that the allies. We couldn't be taking the kingdom ground. that we're seeing without the allies and that invitation. They are
to be reckoned with.
They are. They're a motley.
They're a
motley,
mob.
Beautiful crew.
They are.
So love
hanging out.
So
rumor is too. You can smoke a cigar while you're watching Recalibrate too.
Just stay away from the fuel. Just stay away from the fuel tanks over there in the corner.
That's right. Well, thanks so much for listening on the updates here. And King Me series starts next week. Next Thursday. The King Me book is released on March 15th. King Me book tour is Zoweh.org/book tour. And if you're interested about supporting us financially, send an email to Greg at greg@zoweh.org or zoweh.org/match. That goes until March 15th as well. So check out this message from Robin and from Sherry. And think about inviting the women in your life to the Deepening Weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Robin Thompson, wife of Michael.
And I'm Sherry Jennings, wife of the oh-so-handsome SJ. And we are so excited for all that's ahead for the women at Zoweh.
Yes, on March 23rd through 26th, we will be at Rockbridge Young Life Camp in the beauty of Goshen, Virginia for the Deepening Weekend. Our team is looking forward to sharing and exploring how we as women are made to live and flourish in the kingdom of God.
Yeah, Robin, can you imagine 180 women, dear sisters in the kingdom, coming away for a weekend of rest, exploration, and healing? So, for the women listening, we say, come away with us. We'd love to meet you and experience this with you. And to the men, we would love for the women God entrusted to you to come away with us.
Yeah. So to read more and see photos and register, go to thedeepeningweekend.com. Don't let finances keep you from registering. Email events@zoweh.org and we would love to help.
Yeah. Oh, the anticipation for what God has for his beloved daughters at the Deepening Weekend. We look forward to seeing you there.
We will be, and we are praying for you. We can't wait.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Exploring More. The landing page for this podcast is zoweh.org/podcast. That's ZOWEH.org/podcast, where you can find the show notes and various platforms to which we broadcast. You can also find us and the Life of More by visiting Zoweh on YouVersion Bible app, Right Now Media, our Facebook page, and Zoweh on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, with God there is always more, and you were made for more.